Tinubu in serious trouble as the new FCC chairman that Tinubu just appointed some days ago is giving Tinubu a very tough time in the Senate. This guy came out and he shocked everybody. He exposed a lot regarding Bola Ahmed Tinubu, and even Akpabio was trying to beg him down in the Senate. If you should see what is happening, obedient, it will shockalize you. Tinubu really wants this guy to cover his chin, but this guy has finally exposed a lot of things regarding Bola Ahmed Tinubu, and this alone is packing up a lot of reactions on social media at the moment. Obedient, I would like guys to stay connected to the end of this video. Though they did not really want this video to come out, but the video is finally circulating on media already, and that is what I want to show to you in this very video. If you can share it to different social media platforms, let it go viral, and if you can share it, like it, give it a thumb up so that it will be recommended for us. We'll stay connected. I'll come back again.
Welcome you back to LAJUPOG TV.
I don't have bad news for you today.
The home of religious gossip.
But you should leave the fight for Mohammed.
What is happening in the Christendom? Join now to make sense with LAJUPOG.
Hello my great and wonderful viewers, welcome you back to LAJUPOG TV. For those of you coming across this channel for the very first time, ensure you click the red subscription button appearing on your video screen, and do well to click the notification bell icon so that whenever we drop a new video in few hours time, YouTube will easily let you know still on what is happening in the political zone. Bola Ahmed Tinubu is in serious trouble at the moment. The Chicago State University academic record of Tinubu was released to Atiku Abubakar to the general public some weeks ago, and this packed up a lot of reactions on social media. And since then, Tinubu have never come out to address Nigeria based on the alleged forgery. A lot of people are coming out from APC angle, attacking people that are going to different media houses that are saying that Tinubu forged the certificate and all of that. So NBC threatened a lot of television stations like Arise News and some other personalities. They threatened them to stop speaking on the Chicago State University academic record of Bola Ahmed Tinubu, and a lot of people have reacted to what NBC said, that nobody can sign in the media houses in Nigeria. When this issue came up in 1999, it was only what the newspaper brought out that people would listen to and believe. But now there are a lot of media houses, and Tinubu cannot die this issue down just like that, because many television stations are already talking about it, and even there are some personal blogs like mine that are talking about this whole issue. But that is not where we're going to. Something tragic is happening to Bola Ahmed Tinubu at the moment. Obedient, I would like guys to stay connected to the end of this video. Tinubu is in serious trouble. Ensure you share this video, share to different social media platforms. Let it go viral, and if you can share it, like it, give it a thumb up. Just like it as you're watching it, thumb it up so that YouTube will be recommended for us. Tinubu is in serious trouble at the moment. He appointed a new EFCC chairman after the former EFCC chairman was fond of corruption and all of that. It was obvious that the former EFCC regime was very, very corrupt. They are more corrupt than politicians in Nigeria. But why himself that was the EFCC chairman stole a lot of money, he extorted Nigeria government, and he extorted a lot of citizens. It's not only Yahoo Boy, he extorted a lot of people and he collected a lot of bribes. That was where Bawa took more than 200 million naira and spent it on vacation with his family and all of that. The money that does not belong to him. So that makes Tinubu to sanction him, and they push him and all of that. It's not more news that they took Bawa in DSS custody, and a lot of things have been going wrong regarding the EFCC body. But Tinubu have finally appointed a new EFCC chairman, and this has packed up a lot of reaction, because a lot of people believe that Tinubu really want to use this guy to cover his atrocities. The atrocities of 2 billion vans entering to Tinubu's house and all of that when he was still in Lagos in body law and all of that. And there are a lot of things like the drug case of Tinubu and all of that. He tried to cover everything up according to what people are saying on different media houses. That is why he used the Yoruba man OLUKOYEDE as the new EFCC chairman. But something is happening. This guy have already turned against Bola Ahmed Tinubu, and he exposed Tinubu publicly in the Senate. Obedient, I would like guys to stay connected to the end of the video so that I can show you the video. I'm coming back again.
Your people or the commission, without any investigation, detained me for several days. After investigation, I was released, and it was close to an election time. So I understood at the end of the day that the petition was just meant to make me lose the next election. But the question I have is that, don't you think that if a petition is written on someone for financial or economic crime, you should do your due diligence investigation before inviting and detaining the person. Because otherwise you end up detaining innocent people, and at the end of your investigation you find out the person has not committed the crime. Then what should the person do? Should he also sue you for detaining him, unlawfully? So my own question is that, are you supposed to just invite and detain a person on a petition from anybody, or you must have concrete evidence that that crime have actually been, committed? Number two, at least the hunter becomes the hunted. The EFCC is not also free of financial crime. I heard you say that there's that possibility if you are allowed to investigate the Senate President. So who will investigate the EFCC, sir? The House. So we also have the capacity to investigate you. So as you do your work, I want to advise that the EFCC should not be used as an instrument to fight political opponent. Because we have seen this clearly, that if you don't like my face, or if I'm contesting an election, for example, against the Senate President, and because of his status, you may decide to well into political issues instead of fighting political economic crimes, and therefore you take side. For example, this side of the divide, they are the ones in government now. And if I'm running an election with any one of them, they can use you. You have to tell this Senate that you will be immune of being used by any political high-level person to fight innocent Nigerians or label innocent financial crimes against them, to deter them from achieving their rights to contest elections. He said not only elections, any other thing. So please, because the only way you can prove to us that you are right to fight economic crimes is for us to see that transparency in you. It's for us to see that you are not being used by somebody. Tell us, assuming President Bola Ahmed Tinubu will say today, go and investigate, assuming but not conceding, no. Go and investigate such a person, and you know that the person is not guilty. Even if he's guilty, will you follow the due diligence of the law to do that investigation? Finally,
because also in the course of my carrying out study, fraud survey, I discovered that for you to, if you allow 10 naira to be stolen, you spend an average of between 3 naira 50 kobo and 4 naira 50 kobo to recover it. That is even if you are able to recover the 10 naira. But for you to prevent the stealing of 10 naira, you spend less than 1 naira. So which one is the more effective tool to fight corruption? Without downplaying the importance of enforcement, why can't we channel more on prevention and let it begin with these allo chambers today? We discovered that in Nigeria, there is nowhere to run to. So I want to plead with these allo chambers. There is what we call transactional credit system. If we continue to allow Nigerians to buy houses, cash, to buy cars, cash, we don't have a very effective credit system. 1,000 EFCC added to 1 million ICPC will not do us any good. And that is the reality. We must create that atmosphere as lawmakers for people to have choices. Look, if I don't steal money, can I afford to train my children in school? Minimum standard. If I don't steal money, can I buy a car after I've worked for 5 years? If I don't steal money, can I at least put 3-bedroom bungalow in place after I've worked for 15, 20 years? An average Nigerian doesn't have a hope. When he has the opportunity, he will steal. And even if he doesn't have it, he will create one. And so you will now leave the law enforcement agencies and the anti-corruption agencies to start running after them. Finally, distinguished senators, sirs, I'd like to also for us to encourage our criminal justice system to work. We must, if we really want to fight corruption, anywhere the fight of corruption succeeds in the world, the substance is taken above technicalities. We must encourage our criminal justice system to advocate in such a way that max prosecution doesn't take more than 5 years. Max from cost of first instance to Supreme Court. And I know these allo chambers can begin to work on that very seriously. And so if we make our criminal justice system work, you will see more of what the anti-corruption agencies are doing. And it will be better for all of us. On this note, I'd like to thank you very much. And I want to leave you with this. I did a survey between 2018 and 2020 of 50 entities in Nigeria. 50 entities, both human and corporate entities, between 2018 and 2020. And I picked just one scheme, one species of fraud, which is called contract and procurement fraud. And I discovered that between 2018 and 2020, 3 years, Nigeria lost 2.9 trillion. 2.9 trillion. Now, when I put my figures together, I discovered that this money, if we had saved, if we had prevented it, would have given us 1,000 kilometers of roads. In addition to that, we would have built close to 200 standard schools, tertiary institutions. In addition to that, we would have educated about 6,000 children from primary to tertiary levels at 16 million per child. We would have delivered 20,000 units of 3-bedroom houses across the country and even more. We would have given us a world-class teaching hospital in each of the 36 states of the Federation. This is where we are coming from. This is where we are. Where we are going to go depends on the decision we take this afternoon. Thank you very much. The President of the Senate, most distinguished Senator Godswill Akpabio, GCON, who is just coming to take his seat. This Deputy President of the Senate, most also distinguished Senator Jibril Barau, CON, the leaders of the Senate. Permit me to please recognize the leader, Senator Okoyemi Bamidele, who happens to also be a senator representing my state. Permit me also to specially recognize Senator Yemi Adaramudu from Ekiti South, who happens to be my own senator from Ekiti South. Permit me to also recognize Senator Cyril, who also is from Ekiti North Senatorial District. Fachuyi, Senator Cyril Fachuyi, distinguished. The very distinguished Senate of the Senators of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. I stand before you today as a nominee of the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, is a father of the nation, to be screened and confirmed, if you so desire, as the Executive Chairman of Economic and Financial Crimes Commission. I'd like to especially thank and appreciate the President for finding me worthy of this nomination. I also like to put on record that this hallowed chambers had cause to screen me in 2018 as the secretary nominee for Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, and I was duly confirmed in 2018 by these Alo chambers. So this is making me the second time of appearing before you. And I believe that the same gesture that was extended then will so also be extended. Having said that, my name is OLUKOYEDE. I was born on the 14th of October 1969 in Ikero, Ekiti State, southwest region of Nigeria. I started my education pursuit in 1974 at St. Luke's Primary School. From there, moved on to Annunciation College, both in Ikero, Ekiti. From there, I had a stint for my at College of Basic and Remedial Studies in Akure, where I had my A-levels. From there, I proceeded to University of Lagos, where I ran a program in law, diploma in law. From there, I moved to Lagos State University, where I graduated with LLB. From there, went to the Nigerian Law School, where I was called to the bar. By way of executive education, I had cause to be, I'm also an alumnus of Harvard Kennedy School, University of Harvard, and also Oxford, University of Oxford in UK, where I had an executive education program in public corruption management. My career I started my career way back in 1995, even before I went back to study law. That was when I had my first experience as a fraud manager, when I was employed by an international company to carry out fraud management. That was where I had my first training. And from there, I went back to school after I became a lawyer and called to bar. I was privileged to join an international company as well, where I started my career as a compliance manager and also corporate intelligence specialist. This job took me to about 3 continents of the world, and it gave me experience to interact with other key players in law enforcement around the world. By virtue of the job I did then, I represented the company to carry out what we call compliance management and regulatory compliance with foreign corrupt practices in the US, and also bribery act in the UK, where we carried out consultancy job for all international companies that are subject of those laws. And that gave me the opportunity of having an encounter with operatives in FBI and Serious Force Office in the UK. After my foray into that, I had the opportunity of also working at the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission. First of all, maybe at least for the knowledge of the House, Madam Noni Badu, we met first in 2006, I think in Washington, D.C., where I presented a paper, and he noticed me and he said, "Look, young man, what are you doing here? Why don't let's go back home and I've been the chairman of Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, see how we can support our country." So he gave me the opportunity of working with him as a trainer, and also as someone who rendered service in the area of prosecution support. And after that, when he left, I went back to private sector again and continue with my regulatory compliance work. And as fate will have it, I also went back again to law enforcement when I was employed as the chief of staff in 2016 to the executive chairman of Economic and Financial Crimes Commission. Of course, as a chief of staff, you are like a shadow chairman. You are like the clearing table for the chairman. And after that, I also became the secretary in 2018 November. That is by way of my journey into the profession of fraud management and regulatory compliance. When this nomination came up, I quickly addressed my mind to the Herculean task that this is going to place before not only me, but the entire country. And so that helped me to come up with three-pronged approach, which I call policy objectives. In 1 minute, I'm going to present it to you. I came with the first one. I came up with the first one that has to do with focus. And these are the principles that will drive me and my colleagues, if I'm privileged to be confirmed in the FCC. Number one, what is the focus of an anti-corruption agency in a place like Nigeria? We need to redirect our focus. Section 6 of EFCC Act has given us what an anti-corruption agency should be doing. Number one, I believe we should focus on driving economic development. Number two, we must also create an atmosphere for transparency and accountability in running the government. And also, number three, we must help as an anti-corruption agency to build the international image of this country. Because if you don't do that, there is no way you will endear foreign direct investment. And so having put these three policy objectives together, something came to my mind. And I said, look, with this, how do we move forward? And I also came up with three proposals that I'd like to share with you very quickly before I round off, and also present it before these allo chambers, so that all of us can put minds together and see how we can move forward in Nigeria. Number one is the need for collective responsibility. We need to get to a point in Nigeria where we need to come together on the same page and believe that corruption is a cankerworm to our development. We must come together and believe that financial crimes, the way it has overwhelmed our structure and systems in Nigeria, we can't move forward. Even if we are moving forward, it's going to be at a snail speed. And so where do we go from here? All of us must come together. It's not just the work of the anti-corruption agencies. We must agree. And I say this, everybody is talking about we need to fight corruption, but I have come by virtue of my experience to notice that it is become more of rhetorics than showing the commitment. And that's why I'm standing before you today. If given the opportunity, the time has come for us to show commitment. What do I mean? For instance, if I have the opportunity tomorrow to perhaps investigate the most distinguished president of the Senate, not even that, okay, let me use my senator Troubl. Thank you, sir.
Distinguished senators, I noticed that my brothers on this side of the aisle are very excited that they should use the Senate President as an example. The distinguished nominee, look to this side, pick anyone, Senator Alero or anyone. It's even Senator Nengi. Pick any of them. Leave the Senate President for now.
Now, the point I was trying to make is that if I should go after someone as an agency, the moment you open the investigation, automatically you become the enemy of the person. Not only the enemy of that person, you become the enemy of all his friends, you become the enemy of all his acquaintances, you become the enemy of all his family members, you become the enemy of all his party members, you become the enemy of all his professional members. And that is the way we have been fighting. And if we have this attitude, we can't move forward. We must realize that this is bad, and we must support the anti-corruption agency to call a spade, no matter the relationship we have with such a person. And because even to the corrupt themselves don't even enjoy a good living, standard of living. For example, somebody has stolen money in Nigeria, as it is today, and you bought a Rolls Royce. Where is the road to drive a Rolls Royce in Nigeria? You have stolen money, you built a mansion in your village or local government. Are you not, won't you be afraid to spend a night there? Where is the security? Now, if you look at this trajectory, you discover that it's a sort of financial crimes and corruption that we have, all of us collectively, we've not really done much about. And I'm saying this with every sense of solidarity and every sense of patriotism, rather. So the time has come for us to call evil, evil. It doesn't matter whose source is God. It doesn't matter who's benefiting from it. That's number one. So that must be collective responsibility. Number two, as I begin to round up, we must also, particularly for my colleagues in the anti-corruption platform, the time has come for us to begin to look at more of prevention than enforcement. Enforcement is a very strong tool in our hand. We are going to apply it very seriously. But again, I discover that the incentives are there all around us in Nigeria. And I'll give you an example. You see an average level 8 public servant who drives 2 cars, who builds a house. I mean, this is common knowledge. Everybody knows. Now, we ask ourselves a question. His savings for 30 years, have been all through his service years, can he actually afford to buy this car?
Thank you for staying connected, my great and wonderful viewers. You can really hear what the new FCC chairman said. A politician came out and this guy expressed his own mind. They were granting that new FCC chairman an interview. Before they can appoint him, they need to grant him an interview in the House of Senate. Akpabio himself was present there on seat because he is the one that is empowered to approve the whole issue. That senator said it all. He said when he was still a local government chairman that they used to make use of all these FCC and all of that as weapons. Like politicians use them as weapons to fight themselves, and that was what Tinubu did to Ambode in Lagos State. Then Ambode wasn't dancing to Tinubu's turn again, and Tinubu ensured that this guy did not win primary. He used a lot of weapons against him, and these are the weapons that we're talking about, the EFCC and all of that. That is why Ambode couldn't stand a chance to win the primary in Lagos State. That is why a lot of people keep saying that Tinubu owns Lagos. This thing is what the Nigerian politicians are doing, using all this EFCC, ICPC and all of that against themselves, including DSS. I told you when Atiku received the academic record of Tinubu, before the Chicago State University granted Atiku's prayer, I told you, I said all these politicians know the secret of themselves. Had it been that Atiku won the election, they wouldn't have dug out Tinubu academic record and tried to put Tinubu down. They know their secret. Tinubu himself knows the secret of Atiku. If Tinubu should bring out the secret of Atiku, is going to shocktalize everybody. That is what I'm saying. You can say that what I've been saying on this channel is already playing out. All these politicians, they know the secret of themselves because a lot of them, they lack integrity. They did not have a good reputation, and they are making Nigeria to be drawn in the mud in different international communities. So that is what this politician is saying. He said, if this new FCC to enter office, is he not going to allow all these politicians to be using him as weapons to fight other politicians, even when election time is drawing closer? Because that was what they did to him. According to him, he said when he was still the local government chairman of his own state, he said they make use of EFCC to put him in custody, and when the election time was drawing closer, he said they detain him for no reason of what he did not do. So he couldn't stand a good chance to win the election due to the fact that they detained him illegally. And this happened in a country that is practicing democracy, where they use EFCC and other military bodies as weapons to fight even the common men and all of that. That is what is happening in Nigeria. Now, according to what the new FCC chairman was saying in this very video, he said they will never allow any form of perversion of justice and all of that. That if anybody should commit a crime, they will surely go for the person if the person is reported and all of that, and anybody that is around that person at that moment will become the enemy of EFCC and all of that. But the question out there is, this guy is being appointed by Tinubu, and mind you, it was Tinubu that appointed INEC chairman Mamman Yakubu. But you can see the way Mamman Yakubu favored Bola Ahmed Tinubu in course of the election. He paid back Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Likewise, this new EFCC chairman, according to the interview that they granted him, he acted reputed as a man of integrity and man of good diligence and all of that. But is he not going to repay back Tinubu for Tinubu to give him this appointment? Because a lot of people have been saying it in different media houses. They said this guy did not really want the position, that this guy is not fit to become the EFCC chairman at the moment. But Tinubu put him there and nobody can change the whole thing. Tinubu have appointed him. Is he not going to pay Tinubu back? The issue of the two bonavent that enter Bola Ahmed Tinubu, we want the new FCC chairman to investigate the matter. Is he really going to be able to investigate the matter? That is where the issue is. A lot of people have been saying it. They said since it was Tinubu that appointed him, for him to investigate the atrocities of Tinubu, the money that Tinubu took in Lagos and all of that, where the two bonavents coming to Tinubu house, where they were coming from and where they were going to, because according to what the spokesperson of Tinubu said, he said the bonavents were just moving around and they misroad into Tinubu's house. Is it not still going to be the same story that we'll still be hearing in the regime of this guy? You started to say that Akpabio too will soon be investigated. A lot of issues have been going on regarding Akpabio, and a lot of people have been speaking regarding the impeachment of Akpabio. Even in the House of Senate, they were talking about how they want to impeach Akpabio. The issue is already going on under, and the plot is ongoing, and Akpabio himself will know about this. So now for this guy to say that he wants to use Akpabio as an example and all of that, that shows that Akpabio is really a case study. He really needs to be investigated, because the money that they shared in the House of Senate some time ago, before they go for their holidays, Akpabio said they have sent tokens to the DM, they have sent tokens to the account of all the senators in the House and all of that. That was the last meeting that they had in the House of Senate before they went for their holiday that they resumed back in September. They said they sent tokens to the boy when he later realized that he was in a live television program, all of that, and they were covering him live. He later turned into prayer. I said, sorry, that was a slip of tongue. I sent prayers to your DM to enjoy your holiday. What kind of prayer is that? Is money. And it later came out that they send them hundreds of millions of naira, even when Nigerians are hungry, even when Nigerians cannot afford 3 square meals in a day. These people are busy there sharing money, sharing the Nigerian money. And where is the money coming from? Nobody knows. That alone is to tell you that it is Nigerian money. So Akpabio need to be investigated, and the principal of all the whole issue, Bola Ahmed Tinubu too, need to be investigated. That is the work of this new EFCC chairman. Before you begin to chase your boys up and down like as if you don't want scatter escape in streets, first of all focus on the Nigerian politicians and the EFCC body, just to ensure that justice is being made to everyone that steals the country money and all of that. What do you guys think? Do you really think this guy is going to perform as a new FCC chairman, or is it going to be corrupt as power? Do you think he can investigate Bola Ahmed Tinubu and even everybody that is coming from Tinubu angle? Drop your opinion in the comment section of this video. I'm going to get another for you. You should follow me on my social media handles on Facebook at LAJUPOG TV and LAJUPOG Entertainment, on Instagram at LAJUPOG. Guess what, guys? See you in my next video. Bye.
For my body, I say make I yarn you. Religious gossip plenty day for body. Pastor where they lie on top, be pastor. For LAJUPOG Watch TV. Pastor where they back, where politician where they do pass me self. Corrupt leader, all the while you waiting for church.